Ow! Can't start a fire. Can't start a fire without being thankful for the news. Happy news today, everybody. Up first, adult acne. Why do I have it on my nose? Why is everyone fucking looking at me? And why has God forsaken me? Let's take the questions one by one. Why has God forsaken me? In 2011, me and my best friend Brett stole a bottle of Kahlua from my stepmom. Then we proceeded to make the most fire diss track about Pope John Paul II. While the track was fire, it wasn't nearly as hot as the lake of fire I will be swimming in for eternity. And I accept any punishment I am given. The next pressing question, why won't the cashier at 7-Eleven look me in the eyes anymore? Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with the adult acne. Last week, I had an Italian sub that gave me the worst case of butt trouble I've had since 2004. Unfortunately, that led me into a period of intense psychosis where I decided to donate the owner of 7-Eleven's car to 1877 Cars for Kids. He has no car, but now his car is owned by child. Have fun, little one. And lastly, where do we go from here with a face like this? I've already, fortunately, received several offers from religious groups to be burned at the stake because I look like a witch. I'm thinking about taking them up on these offers, but I got one particularly good offer where I could be the next David Koresh and lead a cult of my own people for 1,000 years, and I think I will do that instead. Up next. On a stormy night in Cleveland, Ohio, 5 years ago tonight, a mother, a lonesome mother, not a father in sight, received the 3 words every mother wants to hear. It's a big laugh. Big Laugh Comedy was born 5 years ago tonight. Since then, they have created some of the biggest shows in Austin, Texas, from the streets of Benghazi to the... That's right, folks. Big Laugh Comedy has officially turned 5 years old. From our humble roots in the streets of Benghazi to the sold-out audiences in Austin, Texas. It's a true rags to riff story. It has been nothing but a pleasure to bring you the biggest comedy around for several years, and we look forward to 25 more. That's right, folks. As a token of our appreciation, we have decided to give you a special treat. If you would check under your chairs, I think you'll be pleased to find a delicious bag of rubies and sapphires. I've gone through the trouble of tasting them all personally, and trust me, they are real. They made me very sick. You know what they say, you can give a horse a bag of rubies and sapphires, but you can't cure the Crohn's disease that it causes. These special rubies are perfect for any occasion, letting that special someone know you truly care by giving them $6 worth of rubies from Hobby Lobby. Getting very sick, so you get out of that pesky little business trip. Using them as collateral in an international arms deal. Thank you for the rubies, and thank you for the news. Up next, former kickboxer and current pussy Andrew Tate has been banned from all social media platforms, and everyone's up in arms about it. And by everyone, of course, I mean that one dude who works with your cousin at a construction site who's addicted to Suboxone even though he's only like 17 years old. You know what they always say, nothing says billionaire mindset like detoxing in the bathroom of a Jersey Mike's during your lunch break. You may know Andrew Tate as the prolific mind behind such famous quotes as, "Beating women is good for the economy," and "Do you guys serve blood at this Panera Bread?" Perhaps you know him from his famous sex tape where he went down on a kettlebell for 15 minutes, and neither of them finished. In fact, the only thing Andrew Tate has in common with a kettlebell is easier to swallow. Boom! Fuck you, dude. Get out of here, bald ass. He looked like Tommy Pickles' grandpa if he was young. Bald head, smell like shit. Up first, as many of you know, this episode is brought to you by a very special sponsor, Tony Sasseries. When the wife and kids are away, Tony Sasseries is here to stay. Unfortunately, they're not coming back. You can put this on your flank steak and forget all about the children you helped raise. Put it into your spicy whiskey and cry into your lazy boy. Call your friends from high school, even though their numbers have been changed, but continue to talk to that person until they hang up. Catch a pigeon and train it to deliver ominous messages to all your enemies from years past. Email all the people you interviewed with on LinkedIn and send them threatening messages too. Tony Sasseries is about 2 things: making enemies, and that's it. 2 things. For years, indigenous peoples used this stinky little stuff as a cure for bunions. Now you can pour it all over your hot dog sandwich. Oh, what a delicious meal. Hot dogs for breakfast? Hope the divorce is going well. And lastly, there's been a new addition to the Big Laugh Network, the Grimby Half Hour Power Hour, starring yours truly and my wonderful co-host, Kat Swanman. Delicious riffs about Grimby? Check. offensive things we have to edit out of every episode in fear of losing sponsorship, also check. Guys, on a serious note, for years I was on my own, trekking across America on horseback, building the Grimby half-hour power hour strictly through word of mouth at homeless shelters and methadone clinics. For years, I was on horseback, trekking across America by my lonesome, spreading the message of Grimby, house by house, door to door. And this is before ring bells. You could just knock on a door and you could dress as somebody's neighbor back then. You could keep the ruse going until they listen to your podcast. And I tried, before I moved here, we did a live show. And I'll keep this story brief, but we followed a really popular comedy show in Boise, Idaho, and about 80 people were there at the start of the Grimby live show, and in about 15 minutes, there was 6 people, because it was me in a full grimace suit with no topics to talk about, my friend and co-host of the show who had never been on stage before and was absolutely petrified, and we stayed on stage for 2.5 hours. That's a completely true story. By the end of it, we knew the show was over because no one was left in the room, which seemed like a logical conclusion. Now at this stage, Grimby, we got the production value, we got the corporate money, we got the gold bullion, we got the cameras, we got the technical equipment, we got the trap doors, we got the keys to the escape room of the mind, the hatch of the unseen, the purple nightmare, the stinky conundrum, the Chubman, Chubman's journey, purple purgatory. What's that warm feeling in your earlobe when you take out your gauges? It's Grimby's tongue getting a little taste, mommy. That's so gross. Check under your bed. Surprise, it's Grimby. Check in your heart. Get an x-ray. Surprise, it's also Grimby. Gonna need some friggin' medicine for that, daddy. Check in your mailbox. Open the letter. Don't touch it. It's anthrax. Grimace sent you a poison message. All these riffs and more to be heard every week on the Grimby Half Hour Power Hour, exclusively on Big Laugh Comedy, my YouTube, Casey Rocket, Clips Online, and, yeah. I'm Casey Rocket. Grab a handful of rubies, grab a tongue full of Tony Sasseries, kiss your Mima on the lips, but don't let your friends see. Thank you for the news.